Less than 48 hours ago, that sound had never been heard on this earth. Suddenly, it has become as much a part of American life as the sound of your vacuum cleaner. It's a
What's going on, people? What's going on, baby? I don't say good morning to y'all, I say good day to y'all because that's what I want y'all to have. Most people say good morning, but what if you lost somebody? You already mourning. So what you need somebody to tell you good morning for? So you gotta think about the words that you say before you say them. Because they're all being created at a fraction of a second from the Creator.
Less than 48 hours ago, that sound had never been heard on this earth.
We're talking about TV.
Suddenly, it has become as much a part of American life as the sound of your vacuum cleaner. It's a report from outer space, a radio signal transmitted by the Soviet Union's Sputnik, the first man-made satellite as it passes over New York earlier this evening. This is now the satellite which surrounds all of us. In the competition for leadership in space, where is the finish line?
Once again, I already said, what are you racing for when you can't win in life? Any other race is
in the Cold War, it's pretty clear who shot a nuclear missile at you. You can see it. But in today's world, it's pretty unclear who just launched the cyber attack against you.
People have always been robbing banks, people have always been embezzling money, people have always been lying and cheating, and the internet just gives people another avenue to lie and cheat and steal.
The nation's largest credit rating bureau may have been the target of a hack attack by amateur computer wizards.
TRW's Information Services Division has computer records on 90 million Americans, 85% of the breadwinners in this country.
They look at data as ones and zeros that should be liberated and are free for everybody, and they don't see the boundaries that we all have.
Privacy is one of those things that you don't really notice it until it's gone. We're entering in a world where all data is now saved. And this is the end of prehistory. Now, your kids are going to have everything saved. And that's a real different world.
Good evening, America. It troubles me to tell you that your personal and private information is in the hands of thousands of people who you never met and will never know.
The stereotype is it's the kid who didn't have a girlfriend, right? And so he's spending all of his time down there in the basement, right? There was something to that. There's sometimes stereotypes at the core of the stereotype. There's a little bit of truth. So we had all of these, kids who were bored and they were exploring, and you started to see this phenomenon where the anonymity of the network let people feel entitled to do things that they probably wouldn't do otherwise.
The physical morphology of the hacker is something that I think that people have made a lot of jokes about, and I don't think that the stereotype is necessarily wrong, that it's somebody with a black t-shirt, drinking a Jolt Cola, with a kind of pale complexion because they haven't been out that much, and they sleep all day and they're up all night. But if you go to hacker conferences like I do, while that description may fit a majority of the people at the conference, there's still ample other types of people who are interested in computers and computer security.
Sometimes hackers mean computer criminals. I'm using hackers in the term, the old Stephen Levy sense of hackers are explorers. Just like you have criminal plumbers and non-criminal plumbers, you have criminal hackers and non-criminal hackers.
The media loves to jump on the stereotype of a hacker as some little teenager in his basement who's working at midnight on his little computer and breaking into the Pentagon and launching ICBMs at Russia. I mean, that's Hollywood, it makes a good story, but that is not true. A hacker basically is somebody, they're not necessarily malicious, they're just curious.
I first heard the term hacker in the 80s, and it was in reference to someone hacking their way through something. In other words, someone learning something that was difficult. In context of computer programming, you were just cobbling it together to get it to work. You weren't making it beautiful, you weren't doing it necessarily right, you were hacking it together.
Basically what you're seeing here is a modern day hacker space. You'll find things not just about computers. You'll find people doing sewing, lockpicking, computer hacking, cybersecurity, physics, chemistry, a whole bunch of stuff. A hacker is a person who pushes the boundaries of their form and art. And basically you find people here that are polymaths, like people that actually do multiple things, and they're jack of all trades, master of none, but more often better than a master of one.
The first time I ever heard the term hacker, I was a teenager. I was living in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they had just apprehended Kevin Mitnick.
Fuck the man mission up.
You know, I grew up associating computer hacker with computer criminals.
The police about to kill you, you still try to build a man code.
Really could have lived any of it. We're just someone who had the power to
now you're gonna get ran over by a train.
The computers in a way that was kind of like magic. So they were basically wizards of the computer world.
Mathematician Claude E. Shannon of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology designed this electronic maze, not to prove any special point, but mostly for fun. The movable walls of the maze can be arranged to make millions of different patterns, through which the artificial mouse must travel to reach its goal. To find its way through the pattern, the mouse proceeds, as we would, by trial and error.
The Pentagon was accused today of not paying enough attention to the security of its computer systems. Earlier this year, a network of foreign computer hackers broke the code of a number of Defense Department computers, giving them access to information on American weapons.
We're going to use this modified phone to attack and take over a Windows computer.
A white hat hacker is doing hacking for a good purpose. Sometimes they're hired to go in and do what's called a penetration test of a company and expose any vulnerabilities and report that back. Other times they're doing research that can benefit the internet community. On the other end of the spectrum is black hat hacking, which is malicious, and it tends to benefit the individual, or sometimes it's for profit of an organization, or it can be a political expression.
Did you ever become comfortable with the idea of actually serving a little time for what you were doing?
No. Little once.
You still kept doing it?
Oh yeah, of course. It's an addiction. It's completely an addiction.
So the prospect of jail was
like the game is an addiction to most of y'all. Y'all addicted to y'all knowing the motherfucking truth for yourself.
Don't have too much time to think about that, actually.
Eyes up to what's really real.
I think part of it is the obsession.
Realize that a lot
it's
of
the obsession of I have to make this
believe.
work. It's kind of like a chess game.
And
I
you
have
making
to win.
yourself believe that
And it's not like playing, tic-tac-toe. Nobody ever wins, right? When you play chess, it's very strategic.
What we were taught to believe in.
Is also very strategic, and it can
I
take
start
days
thinking
and
about
weeks to physically get what you want. So you have to target it out and
believe.
figure out where the weak point is. How do I move there to get over there under
Come
that
on
system?
Now.
It literally,
when you are
I
a
can't
kid,
even tell you how long I've stayed up.
That's when you're taught to believe
time
in a lot of bullshit.
The system that I wanted.
Because that's when your mind is the most impressionable.
I think when I was younger, I just didn't care.
To end up being lied to really hold on to the shit.
Not to leave any traces.
Because you were giving the shit to you as a child. Just like being fed some shit as a child, you end up liking the shit when you become an adult. A lot of the shit is bullshit that you were fed as a child. I don't fault my mom. I don't fault my daddy. I fault the sons of bitches that changed the shit and started the line. But I don't hate them because I can't undo what they did. I can just help us all just change it a little.
That secure technology, then it's almost a moral imperative to take that.
Crazy, man.
The question really is,
but the truth
the
is
law
just that.
right? Do we need that particular law?
You can't
so even though there's a law that says you can't do something,
because it is what the
hackers
fuck
are really
it
questioning should it even exist.
So when you
For
look
most
at
people that I
the
consider to be
divine
hackers,
always being
innovators,
on
or
your mind,
experimenters,
inside
it
your
is a desire
body
to
and
know
your
and
soul.
a desire to learn. Often
There's
coupled
nothing
with
more
a
divine
slightly
than what's inside
antisocial
you.
Belief that the man
Fighting
doesn't
all
like
the bullshit
you, and
outside
that what
you.
they're telling you isn't all
That's
there
trying to
is
get
to life.
inside you to kill
I
you.
think always about the
But then you
Matrix
helping.
movie, which I think of as one of the
By the fucking
quintessential
food you
hacker
eating.
movies, where there's so
And the
much more
bullshit
going
that you
on
believe
under the
in.
surface, and you can choose to blind yourself to it, or you can
Until
choose
you
to
start
know.
to get
And
into the
hacker is
knowing.
always, going to choose.
Believing is just believing in what you was taught to believe in, to not know the truth is in you to come out. All you have to do is reach deep down inside, pull it out your heart, because that is your first start.
October 1957. The United States was losing the Cold War.
I think about, why is it your birthday when you were just
she had
born?
shot a man-made moon, 560
you didn't do
miles
shit
into
to
space,
deserve a day.
where it was circling
You
the
were
Earth
just
at the
born
dizzy
here,
speed of
an empty
18,000
glass.
miles per
Your
hour.
mama did all the work for you to end up being here.
The launching of Sputnik and what happened
you need to think about that,
radically changed the American attitudes towards their own personal safety or the safety of this country. When it was reported, shocked the American people absolutely beyond belief. For them to pull off this feat, sending the first satellite into space, created a kind of atmosphere of questioning as to who? What we were, where we were going. The Americans had always prided themselves on being by far
now y'all done changed it around because y'all saw another lie.
So they're really
what makes you think that the whole thing wasn't a lie?
How could these
in the first place
peoples have produced something that we were incapable of doing?
Because if it don't make sense,
in terms of
and can't nobody explain it to you to the point where it makes sense, and you can make something out of it, it's bullshit.
That they chose to.
If it's something that you gotta believe in or have faith in, that's some bullshit.
The Soviets must be convinced that any attack on us
can't be afraid to stand up for the motherfucking truth. Stop all the bullshit that was taught to you.
Now
we all been bullshitted.
No one was protected.
I'm telling you the motherfucking truth. Cause I know.
In a strategic sense, it meant we had to advance so much
that we 4 times, to give y'all 4 periods of y'all life, to be able to give y'all 4 words, beginning with L, ending with E, that sums up your life from beginning to ending in 4 stages. And I'm here to give y'all 1 word, 4 letters, that sums it up how we all came to be here, and it happens to be the Creator's original name for man changed
billions
it.
of dollars into the sciences, into engineering. So it seemed to be that we were moving into a world that was totally unfamiliar to us. A world of computers and of missiles.
I'm talking y'all on a motherfucking video game.
Very confusing period for Americans.
Y'all don't have to believe me. You already believe in some bullshit that's insane. Because you was taught to be fucking stupid. We always taught to be fucking stupid sheeple. Because if we wasn't taught to be stupid fucking sheeple, this shit wouldn't be so fucking unequal. Think about it, people.
Started a project that they call the ARPANET.
Gotta wake up out of the delusion as bullshit that was taught to us to believe in, to not know, to have faith that it's gonna go the way that they want it to go.
So we built a
because the creativity in you is the creator of you. The light coming on. The lightning strike before that smoke or fire.
Of the ARPANET that was installed at
it's
UCLA in September of 1969, and by December we had 4 nodes up and running. And then by land,
you always wonder which one came first.
And actually, a portion of it went into.
It's the egg before the chicken. It's the cocoon before the butterfly. I say it again. You always wonder which one came first, the chicken or the egg.
That's just for rich men and
it's the egg before the chicken. Meaning, it's the divine. That's what covers the chicken until the chicken can breathe on its own. The only creator is the creator's mind. Because the creator's mind is the one that takes care of the creation till the creation can stand on its own. What the fuck do you see when you see what they done did when they changed the shit all the fuck around? After the only creator here on earth, that woman, you come from that woman to be a baby, to being able to understand, overstand, and understand anything. You are taught to say, Our Father, who are in heaven, after just coming out of heaven to a type of hell. Think about it. The first day you was live, so you was giving your mama's birthday as a consolation prize to you, and you didn't do shit to deserve a day. It is what it is. If anything, you were just a present, a gift. from the Creator. So like I said again, it was a gift from the woman, not from some fucking man in the sky.
Technology of the telephone companies with technology of their own.
For this phone freaking business to make any sense at all,
that's a bullshit ass lie. Here y'all are thinking that the Creator is a guy.
Really unlike today.
God. That's bullshit. Jesus. That's bullshit. The devil. That's even much more bullshit. We live in a circle of life altogether. The Creator love unconditionally, the one and only feeling of any creation being created to it being created. It is what it is when the truth is just that. The truth!
When that started to get automated,
the love of the Creator loves you unconditionally. You sometimes get mad with you. So like I said again, the Creator is in you, a part of you, to the point where you'll never be alone. There's nothing as divine as the Creator giving you life, giving you free will, giving you the choices to consciously think for yourself.
Cereal. Back in the day, Captain Crunch cereal came with a little prize, and one of the
because when you get hurt, you the one that
turned out that
feels.
if you covered up one of the holes in the whistle, it actually allowed you to
Yes,
generate
but you alone with your feelings, stupid people who start to be stupid, who start to believe in some God and some Jesus when we wasn't supposed to know who the Creator is in each and one of us.
So if you
the greatest creations of all, a conscious, thinking human, living here all together, should be consciously thinking together to the point where we, if any problem would come along, together it's no way possible we couldn't solve it, together as the people consciously thinking. It is what it is. There's a certain amount of people that don't want the people to come together.
Let's see if I make it this time.
I say it again to you, a certain amount of people that don't want the people to come together.
Okay, it hit the phone. It just takes a
little while. When you look at all that's going on, a lot of shit going
to a town in Illinois and back to his other phone. A 1,000-mile phone call
when
by
you sit
whistling.
there, you think about.
So this is a huge problem because
slavery.
We're not talking about software today where you just patch a few lines of code and mail out a CD-ROM or have people download it from the internet.
Happened.
This is
September 11th.
This is, central offices
fucking right, that shit happened. And that was all man-made.
Equipment that this has got to change if you want to patch this hole. In addition,
the water
phone calls
polluted.
Are really expensive. It might cost
even the air.
Equivalent in today's
this is all man-made.
$55 for
now,
a 10-minute phone call
why?
from San Francisco to New York. Right?
Let me break it down to you. Same reason why you get on your knees and say, "Our Father who art in heaven." It's the same reason why the world is so fucked up because of the man. And I'm gonna break it all the way down for you. When you get on your knees and say, "Our Father who art in heaven," when you say, "Father God, He did this for me, He did that for me," you are giving credit to the sexes of a man being the creator of all there is and was created. That's bullshit. Because if anything, it will be the woman. Because the woman have all the compassion and all the love that comes out of her as the form of a baby.
So Blue Box is kind of like a touch-tone generator that can generate these special digits. And with those, you can now dial your
So for you to be getting on your knees and saying, "Our Father who art in heaven," and giving the Creator the title of a man and being your father when you have a father already here on earth, do you not see where they're taking all the glory away from the only Creator here consciously thinking here on earth and giving it to the garbage ass man as being the Creator?
They've been rolling this out across.
I'm just trying to tell y'all something so y'all can see how this big old fucking lie works.
It's got this problem that a guy with a blue box and
it's to make you not know who the Creator really is.
Make free phone calls. And some estimates at the time were that
once again,
upwards of $1
billion. The creativity in you
real money to fix this whole
is the divine Creator of all that is and will be created even after you.
Even if you had $1 billion, you couldn't make it go away overnight. So then
giving
you
you the life, giving you the free will, giving you
we're obviously going to have to live with this for a while. But at the same time,
you don't hear no goddamn voices that's telling you all the bullshit that you think you know,
but then how do you,
and being taught to know.
Somebody? When you catch a college
Unless
kid
you
who's figured
are
out how to make a
crazy.
blue box, you got a blue
And I
box
can't never
outbreak
say that
someplace, right?
Because
what do you do
if
about
you
that? Because if you
are crazy,
prosecute
I
and it gets
am
into the
too.
newspapers,
Because
you might well have just
technically
done yourself more harm
I
than good. Now everybody
am
in that area reads about it and says, "Oh, what's the blue box? That sounds pretty good. I'd like to be able to make free phone calls."
Source of all life. Not from no God, not from no Jesus.
So in 1971, there was an article in Esquire magazine by Ron Rosenbaum, which was called "Secrets of the Little Blue Box,"
way to create,
elevated
and
both
that's
to national attention.
out of love
so
for
well written, so
creation to
intriguing
last
it made
forever.
what was essentially
What
a boring
creates
and geeky
bad?
hobby of playing around with the
Man
telephone
creates
system seemed
bad
like it was something
out
out
of
of
his
espionage
choices to
and it
create
really captured the
something
imagination of so
fucking
many
bad.
people.
But y'all
Phone
so
companies out
fucking
there,
lazy on how
because they
stupid
still
we
haven't
was
fixed
taught
their network.
to
They've
be
got a fix on the horizon.
the God,
That fix is
the
gonna take time to
Jesus,
deploy.
and the devil
now you've
is
got all these
lazy
people who know
shit
about
to
it.
blame shit on, so you don't take the responsibility that is me. It's me being another human here on earth doing some bullshit to another human here on earth, consciously thinking because they knowing that they're doing the bullshit here on earth. So I'm just telling you, bullshitter. You're just bullshitting yourself. You're not bullshitting me.
Where every time we find this, we're going to
You're technically bullshitting me, but you're bullshitting yourself. Not wanting to know what the truth really is in you. For you to be responsible of the shit that you do to people. That's why I can say to you, I love you more than you love me. Why? Because I know the truth and you don't. I tell y'all the truth, y'all know the truth for yourselves. But y'all gonna believe what the fuck y'all want. So it is what it is. Older people and younger people and you damn adults. You got to go back. You know what I mean by you got to go back? We was lied to at birth. You got the TV to tell lies to your vision. You got Walt Disney. You got all these distractions from you not knowing you
much of what we've learned about the universe has actually come from radio telescopes because they can see things that optical telescopes can't. And behind me is one such amateur radio telescope here in my backyard. This is a 12-foot satellite dish that's been repurposed to operate as a telescope. If you're a professional astronomer, you usually are using very large instruments, and you have limited time to use them because you're competing with other folks for the instrument. If you have your own system, you can run it as much as you want and observe anything you wish.
To know you,
and the people who do this are hardware hackers. These are folks who, just like in the Homebrew Computer Club, want access to something that ordinary people normally can't have. Well, there's no question that what came out of the Homebrew Computer Club changed the world in a major way. Some may wonder, when did the computer begin to really compete with television and radio for our personal attention? I'd say that for members of the Homebrew Computer Club, that competition began back in 1975. And folks building their own systems became obsessed with what they were doing, to the point
I
where
already
not only
know
were they
they're
not
gonna make sure
necessarily
that it's
watching
banned
much
out of
TV,
certain countries if it do make it to
they were probably
YouTube.
not spending much time with their
But
families.
the truth is the truth, people. We gotta pick up the vibrations. We gotta start loving each other as much as we love ourselves. If you have any love for yourself, to know that someone else is a part of you, no matter what color they are.
Pretty cool. He had mounted a circuit board with a piece of wood and had a keyboard on it.
They heartbeat, they breathe, they piss, they shit, they make love to the opposite sex attract That's the straight way you do that.
Nobody in the large corporate
because the truth is the truth when it comes down to that. And I'll break that down to you even much.
When we first developed these systems, there was a lot of skepticism we had heard from people on the outside saying, why do you want a computer? Who needs a computer?
When it comes down to the original creator love,
they just didn't get it.
That was turned into a man called God.
Conduct any kind of business these days without a computer. What is new is that computers are suddenly becoming a factor beyond business. Overnight, manufacturing personal computers has become a $500 million business, and it's doubling every 2 years. Stephen Jobs is a 27-year-old multi-millionaire whose large fortune is built on something little, the personal computer.
Once how many calculators your mindset was set on something else,
and you have used the automatic bank telling machines.
Of something else
already seducing you into learning
that life force
Random access memory is internal memory built inside of this computer. They talk their own language here at trade shows across the country when manufacturers show off their wares.
All love stopped for the original creator love. Just jump off to be the first to do
becoming a multi-billion-dollar business.
To be the first two people.
Nothing. Try this one.
That's in love with each other.
I have seen the future, said one industry observer.
To become one, to make two.
It is becoming so commonplace that many of us are becoming dependent on it.
Something that didn't exist a few years ago into a very large business today. And in the future, of course, personal computers, a lot of people anticipate will be as ubiquitous as the telephone.
Computers have become personal tools as prices dropped and components shrank. This personal computer costs about $1,400 and fits nicely on a desk corner.
The idea of the small computer has become so big that the giant of computer companies, IBM, is busy marketing its new small computer.
IBM spending an estimated $13
so when you listen to
TV
what y'all listen to right now about how quickly we advanced with the computer coming from bulky to small.
50 years ago.
We lost into technology, people.
Big Mac Day, the day Apple
we're not sympathetic to each other as being people because of the distraction and all the fucking bullshit.
Of at least 25 manufacturers, Radio Shack, Apple, and Commodore grabbing 3/4 of the market.
For weeks, the Macintosh has been rolling off the line. Every 27 seconds, a whole generation is being
all y'all the assholes playing on this shit. Yeah, I call y'all assholes because most of y'all assholes because all y'all doing exactly what the motherfucking assholes created the game for you to do. Follow what I say do. Do what I say do and do what I say is done. I'm just trying to tell you. On this game, when they say go headshots, y'all go headshots. When they say go destroy up shit, y'all go destroy up shit. When they say go ride the longest wheelie, y'all go ride the longest wheelie. Y'all don't see the programming?
I had never been to an outdoor rock concert, so he took $12.5 million of his dollars and bought one.
The significance of the emergence of the personal computer really can't be understated. Its impact has been profound and reaches almost every corner of our lives.
The big changeover came when people started getting modems on their home computers. So you got the home computer, and you can play your game on it or whatever. And there were these bulletin board systems out there. In the bulletin board systems, you'd have somebody who was a hobbyist also would get a computer and put a couple of modems on it and write a bulletin board package that allowed people to dial in and yell at each other or make friends, fight, talk about whatever their hobby was.
200 years ago in this country, notices were tacked up on a tree in the village square, which served as a community bulletin board. And in the years since, when people wanted to post a bill, they've used fences, barns, walls, and buses, not to mention newspapers. But now the village bulletin board has gone electronic.
Generally in your neighborhood or in your dialing area, there'd be maybe 50, 60, 80 bulletin boards for you to call. And in a really small town, there might only be 5 or 10. And each bulletin board had a different sort of group of follower. Like the engineers might like this one, the hackers might like that one, the game people might like this one, the hobbyists might like that one. And so you'd get accounts on a bunch of systems locally to figure out what the local scene was like. Phone long distance kept getting cheaper, so it went from these standalone island bulletin boards to the network. And some of these networks had thousands and thousands of other bulletin boards. Back then, it was probably 83 or something, and computers were just blowing up. We were in San Francisco, near Silicon Valley, and my dad decided it was time to get the family a computer. My sister had no interest in it, so therefore it ended up in my room, and that's when I got hooked. Addicted to computers, and one guy I was totally jealous of, he had a modem. He had a 110 baud acoustic coupler modem, which is what you see in old movies now. But through that, he'd dial up the phone, stick it on the coupler, and dial up
power is overwhelming people.
Bay Area.
It's overwhelming sometimes. Ooh, boy, it basically broke my body down. Because y'all don't know what I'm going through.
Bulletin board chat system.
I say to you right now, not to get off what I was just saying.
Nobody knows your age. Nobody knows your education, your ethnicity, anything about you.
You men ever kicked in the nuts?
So their entire opinion of
you think about that times too, what happened to a person.
So you could have these great debates about music or movies or whatever it is,
not happening to
and
you.
For all they know that you could be a professor at Berkeley, and that was really liberating because it taught me all about what you know. It wasn't about what you looked like, or where you were from, or any of it, because that just didn't come into the picture. The other thing is it opened up this whole other adult universe. You know, you're like 13, 14 years old, you're kind of sheltered, you can't drive a car, you're not watching R-rated movies, and here you are talking about drugs or movies or sex or whatever it is. Adult concept.
To the point where it makes sense
you're like 14 years old
because you can make something out of it
through the computer for me. It was awesome.
Because in those days, it really did feel like exploring. There was no standard addressing.
It would never give me life back.
You kind of just got this phone number and you would get in there and then you'd see what was on the other side of the computer and where it led to. Because there were people who really weren't
what I believed in was the truth.
You couldn't really track them.
To find out that all that I was believing in was taught to me believing, but it was a whole bunch of bullshit that I was believing in. And I was taught to be the bullshit that I was believing in and wait on some bullshit to come out of the sky or some Jesus, some guy, white guy, before y'all start turning in black and all the different colors.
You would start
come back and save me when the Creator says, save thyself. In order to save the people, you have to be smart to tell the people what's smart for to save them. But you have to be saved yourself. And not saved in some water of some man called Jesus. That's some bullshit that man made up.
Password admin, and sometimes they'd get in, and it was fairly shocking.
When it makes contact with the wall of the maze and discovers it cannot go straight ahead, it turns and keeps on turning till it has found its way again. It explores each step of the way with its copper whiskers.
Those of us who were running
in order to control a people, a nation, is to control what they believe in and are afraid of. But let me let you know the truth. What are you afraid of? That is part of you. So how can you not live fearing that? I'm just talking to you. When you came into this life not knowing a motherfucking thing and was supposed to be
computer sitting someplace and it had a modem connected to it. Frequently, if you turned the modem over, there'd be a little plastic tag with the phone number that the modem was sitting on, and sometimes there'd be usernames and passwords. And some of the hackers had no qualms whatsoever. Just walking into a building and coming out with whatever information they could. Pretty much every kid who's interested in science and technology at some point or another
is but for you to know the truth. For you, and it is what it is. Period.
And it was really
Fuck all that
shocking,
playing.
some of the stuff that you would find getting thrown away. Oh wow, look, it's
but I guarantee you,
from the
come tomorrow
5 years ago.
or later on
really
today, you can look for this to be on YouTube, and I guarantee you're going to be gone.
It was kind of a hobby environment where people didn't really
because once they put the algorithm on what I'm talking about right now,
dumpster and trying to
that's a wrap. This be the last time y'all heard what I just said until I say it again. Because I'm like P. Diddy. Puff Daddy, but not like the gay one. I'm like what he stood for when he first started.
It was only for
Can't stop, won't stop until I drop. They don't have to kill me because they already tried, but I already know one thing. That is something that's gonna happen to me. But I ain't going nowhere until the time, baby. That's why I ain't been in the motherfucking hospital in 2.5 motherfucking years, baby. Because the creator that lived there and showed me some shit dealing with this bullshit, baby. And I'm talking about the doctors are bullshit too. You might think your doctor got your motherfucking health. No. Your health is the last thing that's on his mind. Getting all the medication in you, that motherfucker gonna get paid. And that's just fine. Because motherfuckers don't see us as people. We gotta live and start talking to people to let them know that we are people, not people. We gotta start relating to each other and put down all the motherfucking distractions and start talking to one another. Start having salads over the weekend. Yeah, I said salads because fuck a barbecue. A barbecue is something having to die and then you have to eat it. And I say to you because I know this for facts. You ain't got no nothing in nothing that you can kill and you can cook. All you got is the heaviness of you putting that in your body, period.
And that's when
it's mind over matter. A lot of y'all don't have no mind, so I guess it just don't matter.
Right. So, as soon as the money comes, then you get these streams of parasites coming in after the money. And
you stand alone with that feeling
innocence of the internet really ended around 1994.
As one. And I said one.
Can't afford a computer at home? It's okay if you have some spare change.
Period.
Coin-operated computer terminals have started popping up in public places, like this San Francisco coffee house. Users send electronic mail all over the globe. Cost 2 bits for 4 minutes. Connecting people in new ways has become a major business in this country. Commercial services like Prodigy, CompuServe, and America Online, which pump information into people's computers through regular phone lines, now have 4 million subscribers. The fastest growing of these services, America Online, charges $9.95 a month plus $3.50 an hour after the first 5 hours of use.
As soon as the internet hit, I'm saying within
to the
2
point
years,
where you can't even see it.
Within 2 years, probably.
Well, see, I talk to y'all heart.
I mean, they died that quickly.
I don't talk to y'all ass.
Of dialing up and having slow interaction, you could get online immediately. So what happened there is information sharing took a great leap forward, but community collapsed.
People lie.
Because anybody can come to your system now.
All my numbers
get add up. So you got a whole lot of idiots. People that you couldn't filter them out. See, they used to call it the AOL effect. When the AOL dial-up system hit the internet,
because if you don't know yourself 100% through and through,
early internet,
it is a cold day for you, because you're doing some bullshit that's stupid. Because if you believe in something that you cannot explain why you believing in, you stupid.
AOL.
I say it again. If you believe in something that you cannot understand or explain,
this portal to the
just believing in it and having faith in it because you was taught to. That's bullshit.
But they were able to buy Time Warner.
That makes you stupid.
That moment.
Because you don't know the reason why you're doing something. You just believe in why you're doing something. And you having faith in why you're doing something. You stupid. You gotta know the reason why you're doing it and how much time you're gonna spend on making sure that it works. Simply because to believing that it's gonna work is you not taking the time out for it to work. And that's what makes the truth being just that.
Coming on the internet brought us millions
and you to come out of you.
And I think that was really when we first started to see people doing scams to get people's passwords, people doing online fraud.
Bullshit come from you having the life of the divine creator, but you having free will to thoughts and the things that you do. Stop blaming it on the devil. Stop blaming it on God. Stop blaming it on what the truth being just that. The truth. We are people and we live in a circle of life all together in this circle.
The World Wide Wait.
Hacking really changed when money got involved, when computers became free, when AOL gave away free internet access, when everybody has a spare computer. The things that were motivating you in the first place are no longer there. So you have to find a new reason. What's the new thing that motivates you if all the old motivations are gone?
All of the systems, all of the software, all of the components on which the first couple of years of the big commercial internet were built, none of it was designed really with good security in mind.
I'm informed that you think that within 30 minutes the 7 of you could make the internet unusable for the entire nation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Wow.
It would definitely take a few days for people to figure out what was going on.
This will be an ongoing effort to try to make sure we keep all the benefits of the
wow.
internet.
So there we go, people. Y'all just heard it. You gotta detach yourself to the internet for a little while. Go outside, because that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Go outside and be with nature for a little while. Because what happens if somebody cut this bullshit off? You're gonna be fucked up. And that's
very much felt like that. There was this,
I'm just being honest with you as us being conscious thinking people now, knowing it's time to think for yourself and not think stupid. Because like I said again, stupid is what stupid does. If you can't explain the reason why you're doing what you're doing, you're stupid. I say it again. If you can't explain the reason why you're doing anything that you're doing, you are stupid.
Today, it's very, very different.
Because why is a complicated little 3-letter word. Because it should just be that one. Because I know why it's shaped like just being that 1 letter instead of 3 letters. Why? Because you, as being a little I with your 2 hands to the sky, to the left or to the right, saying, why are you here? Let me tell you why we all are here. We all are here as conscious thinking humans living together here to help each other live here. Not destroy the earth.
Well, in Eastern Europe,
not to have someone
want to
rule over
very
the people.
Intelligent but underemployed. And that may sound
not
cliche,
to want to kill people to have not to want to kill people to have a population control to
they
amount
create companies.
to amount
However,
of people
the motivation
that
of
you
the company is not to make money for the
no,
common good.
No,
it's
that's
to
not
make money
of
for themselves.
the original
and
creator.
so they
That's
remain
man
black hats,
bullshit to
and
go
they
along
remain
with
hackers.
them creating all the different gods and shit because that's them fighting against each other when the only creator here on earth
organized hacker groups primarily from Russia and Ukraine are said to be targeting U.S. companies, stealing millions of dollars in credit card numbers.
There's a lot of bias that exists. When I work with U.S. representatives,
and then you know exactly
they will say that, oh, this other country is attacking us.
Given to you because I don't hold on to nothing. And I can't hate it because I don't hate nothing. Never again. I just dislike a lot of things. I couldn't hate to have hate come knock on my door, because I could never hate, never no more. Why? Because anything that any person do that was taught to be stupid, that's why the shit that they did was stupid, because after they did it, if they didn't think about them doing it before they did it, and they did it, they felt bad because they felt stupid, because it was stupid, and it was something that fucked them up for the rest of their life.
Little Johnny won't have to embarrass Daddy with his homework questions. His tabletop computer
So I say
is a
again,
really tough one.
to you people,
growing up, being a little boy, I always looked at technology and media
we were taught to not think for ourselves. Why do you think that school do you what school do you? School teaches you to be a puppet. When do you have the best time of your life when you're in school? At recess. Because you're playing with people that you don't know. And you ain't giving a shit. But then you're back to the fucking classroom to be indoctrinated with they bullshit. To then find out as an adult that it's some bullshit. So how in the fuck you think you're gonna have some fucking smart kids and you're gonna teach them the same bullshit that you was taught? God, dog it. I say for God, we was taught to be stupid. But I say to you as stupid adults,
cyber is your cell phone, your mobile
the woman had to give the baby her birthday as a consolation prize because you wasn't born to you. You were born to the United States of America as products. You were born to the United States of America's corporation as product. Meaning, they got a barcode for you. And that's on the back of the Social Security card. And that's a whole account on you that they doing on the stock markets right now and making money off your back for to collect from you after you die. And this is facts. It's fucked up what we've done and how our moms and dads wasn't told the truth. It's no one's fault but our fault, being the people that know now what the truth is. Dealing with that and just dealing with what the truth is. A lot of y'all are afraid to die for the truth. But I'll tell you, I'd rather die than live in a lie any longer. And that's the truth. Because I already gave my life up for the Creator to give me my life back, to live my life straight. Not to the left, not to the right, not backwards. Straight. The only one way my heartbeat rotates with the magnetic rotational pull of this earth, pulling us from today into tomorrow. Because one thing about the truth being just that, the truth, there is no such thing as here today, gone tomorrow. Because the truth is the truth. Here today, gone today, because there's nobody promised tomorrow.
Collecting information about you, and consumers have an interest in giving up this information about themselves, whether it be to a social network that knows who your friends are, or to Amazon that knows what books you're interested in, or to Google that knows what you're searching for.
I remember at one point when I was traveling in China and in the gift shops,
because there's a lot of y'all that stuck on stupid don't want to be stupid because y'all know that straight gonna show
every
you
time
been
you look
stupid
at
for a
something,
long time.
they offer a suggestion.
And a lot of y'all
that
just like
a
being
very
stupid.
nice product, you should purchase it.
It is what it is.
And it was kind of a creepy feeling.
I already know that I'm not back here to make this no new utopia. Because it could never be no new utopia. So
They're
because
keeping
the fact they got
information not
people
only
like
about
you.
books you buy and where your house is that they have to ship the books to, but about what books you browse. All that information gets collected and stored and is potentially available to civil litigants and the government later on. This is some of the most private kinds of information. What books you're interested in, what you search on Google.
Don't think that
Google looks at your search histories and they use that information for all sorts of purposes. Think about how you would feel if somebody could get access to what you're searching for. It's basically what are you thinking? What are you interested in? Some of the most intimate, personal information that's out there.
As we move around with our mobile phones, we move from cell tower to cell tower, and this creates records. And these records are retained by service carriers for many years, ostensibly for billing disputes. But they can also be used later to figure out where you were at any given moment in time.
Every time you have your cell phone on, not even when you're making a call, but just when you have your cell phone on, that enables them to find out physically where you are, is something that I think is really of concern to people. People think that information should be private. And we understand that we could be followed on the public street, but we think that requires the government to have good reason and to be worth the money for them to appoint an officer to follow us.
In the U.S., we actually don't have very many privacy laws, which comes as a surprise to a lot of people who just sort of assume that the government maybe is protecting them.
There is no right to privacy in this country. Let me just say that out loud. It's not in the Constitution. It's not in any of the Bill of Rights or any other amendment. There is no right to privacy. The way it is now, I don't own my own identity. If I give it to Facebook, they own it. I can't go back to them and say, you know what? I want to change that. I don't want that to be visible anymore. They say, too bad, you gave it to us, it's in our systems, etc. We're going to sell it, we're going to monetize it, we're going to create psychographic, analysis of who our users are so we can better target advertising to them.
People think that they're the customers of Facebook or Google or LiveJournal or Twitter. In fact, they're not.
Once you realize
they're the products of these companies that they sell to their customers, who are the advertisers. The reason Facebook is free, the reason Gmail is free, is not because the company likes you. It's because you are their product, and by making it free, they get a better product they can sell to their advertisers. Over the last few years, we've heard the CEOs of several major technology companies talk about the death of privacy. Eric Schmidt of Google talks about it. Larry Ellison
all
of
because
Oracle.
of the greedy man.
We're hearing it
wanting
from
to make money.
Mark Zuckerberg
saying
of
fuck
Facebook.
the earth
The
because
rules
he's
of privacy are
jealous
changing,
of the woman.
and people expect less
Oh,
privacy.
that's another
What's
part
interesting
that I'm going to
is those are the very CEOs that are deliberately undermining privacy.
At a presentation to advertisers in 2007, Mark Zuckerberg pitched the benefits of Facebook's vast database.
On Facebook, we know exactly what gender someone is, and exactly how old they are, and exactly what they're interested in.
We're finding a very slow and deliberate ratcheting down of privacy.
Taboo and fall out of sight a long time ago.
They make money
this
from people
where I came up, I don't know how you say his name, but
from information being collated and networked and being seen by
mafias.
A lot of my friends who've grown up with nothing but computers,
so
that's all they know.
Underground
well,
to the point where
there's no electronic digital record of everything ever done online.
Used to be taboo.
Whether or not the record is kept, somebody deletes the hard drive or throws away the backup tapes. But records are being kept. Hard drives, data storage is cheap. It'll be around forever.
It's being thrown down your throat.
So can you imagine the implications? How does that change your behavior? Everything you've ever done is recorded somewhere. Can you imagine what the presidential debates will be like 20, 30 years from now when they're pulling up your first tweet, your first Facebook love note, your first status change on Google Talk where you said you were going to go get hammered? I mean, it's fundamentally going to change the way the people behave.
I mean, there's a common myth that privacy is about something to hide. I don't have anything to hide, so I don't need privacy. But you know that's not true. I mean, we don't have anything to hide when we, sing in the shower or write a love letter and then tear it up. Privacy is about
why? Because what they're doing is
us as individuals. It's about our ability to be who we are without necessarily telling everybody. When someone says I have nothing to hide, just ask them, what's your salary? What are your sexual fetishes? What kind of diseases do you have? It's not about hiding, it's about personal dignity.
This baby is just 1 second old.
I don't hate it.
Here in the delivery room of Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, he has just won his first fight.
But
the fight to life.
Its own.
His footprints are taken for identification. He is still less than a minute old, and this is his first record. This newborn boy and all the others of his generation face a new and serious battle, which they may not win.
The hell that y'all know, to believe that y'all know, comes from TV.
Data is a fundamental byproduct of every computer-mediated interaction.
But like I said again,
you used to throw a quarter into a toll booth, and now you use an easy pass, and a record is saved. You used to chat with someone over a water cooler or say a partition in your office, but now that's done over IM or SMS, and that data is being saved. Right? So things that used to be ephemeral are now permanent. Because more and more of that data is being saved and sifted through and used by government, by corporations, by marketers. I mean, you can find, if you go on the net and you start searching for, maybe you're going to buy a new house or move in and get a new apartment, you start looking at real estate or rental listings, you go on Facebook, and suddenly you're going to see ads for real estate companies or rental companies.
Well, I thought I knew.
And that
I don't know none.
Sometimes feels a bit icky.
You have me around.
We're finding more and more that as people surf on the net, they're being followed. They're being followed, and a profile about them is being collected and then sold to others. And this is without people's knowledge or consent. You might sort of know what's going on, but not me.
That's reason why
a meeting of the American Civil Liberties Union in Washington. These men are fearful that the National Data Center poses a threat to privacy and the American way of life.
Just like I say to the stupid ass men that's doing stupid ass bullshit they're about to do. They're going to destroy all that there is, but the creator is going to create somewhere else. Because one thing about the creator loving unconditionally, it always will. It's infinity. It always will go. It never stops. It never stops
security
until you start to hate. For you start.
And the government likes to use that trade-off. And how much privacy would you give up for security? Being secure requires you to give up some privacy. I think it's a false dichotomy. I think it's actually a red herring. Security and privacy go hand in hand. We do not feel more secure when our private data is released. We don't feel more secure in a police state with its ubiquitous surveillance. That privacy is essential for security. And good security provides for privacy. It's only bad security that goes in opposition to privacy. A great example is airplane security. After 9/11, there have been exactly two things that have improved security. The first one is reinforcing the cockpit door. And the second is passengers knowing they have to fight back. Those two measures have nothing to do with privacy. If you think about the airplane security measures that affect privacy, the photo ID check, the full body scanners, they actually don't improve security. They're what I call security theater. Real security goes hand in hand with privacy.
How do we create a world where freedom and expression is still valued and protected at the same time as security is maintained? So there will always be a battle between privacy, security, and the essence of the internet.
On the sonogram, the doctor showed her on the dot on the sonogram. There's your child. 2, you live. 3, you die. 4, you're on a destiny. He or she is dead. Period. That's when the government cash out and make money off of you dying while you suffering without. 4 words beginning with L, ending with E, that sums up our life from beginning to ending in 4 stages.
This is Harry Bump, a real great guy. Harry's a very busy man, and he's conscientious, hardworking.
So I just add one.
Security-wise, Harry is naive. What? You heard me. You don't know what security is. What do you mean?
Information security has a physical component. There's no doubt about it. It's not just someone from overseas trying to get in with an exploit. That's kind of the trick shot of hacking.
The heart is, like I said,
there's a physical aspect to it, especially at a local level, where if people can access your data networks, they can steal your data. And we're often paid to test that. One of my favorite ways into a company is the smoking door. You'll find like a card swipe to get in and out. So all you have to do is find the smoking door, walk up to the door when no one's there, and have a lit cigarette.
And if anything
when the door opens, just quickly crush out your cigarette and say thank you, grab the door and walk in, and it works every time. Another really clever way that I like getting in is a USB key, which I've written some very simple software that will use the computer it's plugged into to tunnel out and give us control of that computer. And then we take that key and we label it usually something to the effect of your company's name and HR.
So all the fucked up and fuckery and bullshit that you do, when it all comes back to you, it's gonna be you just telling you the truth, and you gonna chastise you, and your hell could be worse than any hell that you ever put your mind through, and then you could be just like all the time.
From the computer when they plug it in,
I'm just saying,
and then we're off and running. Would it be dangerous for everyone to walk around with the knowledge I have? I would worry about that. Throughout my career, I've made a lot of difficult choices. The temptation to just do something that goes over the line is always there. I've been working at this for many, many years. I have a lot of experience.
Any game that you're doing that you guys compete in to be the best. So I can say all of them.
In one case, a briefcase full of
making the
cash
separation.
To do something that was
you already know being at the top as number one is a lonely place.
But you have to make a decision in
by
life,
yourself.
because once you go to that side and get caught,
then you got people down low, and then you wanting to be up there. See, you got too many people shooting at you.
What they don't understand.
But see, once you know
how do you evaluate the risk around what's the risk of having a computer-controlled car?
You don't want to win.
People don't really know.
Life.
We've never had computer-controlled cars before, and it's not something that we sort of intuitively understand. You know, if you're at the ATM and there's a shady guy next to you, you get that, like viscerally. Your brain, your little reptile part of your brain says, danger, danger, something weird's here. But your brain doesn't necessarily pick up that the keypad looks a little unusual because somebody swapped it with a keyboard capturing device. Or where you put your card into the ATM, that looks a little fatter than it normally does. Well, that's because somebody's put a capture device over it. We don't get that intuitively, not like a shady character. And so, as humans, we just aren't good at estimating and managing risk when it comes to computers.
All of us, all at one time.
All kinds of trouble.
I see people that will go out to a free public Wi-Fi cafe, and they'll access